out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3, take it out and be all holding. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3.
Hi, folks. Talking Baseball is
Hello,
back.
we are back. It is Season 10, Episode 3.
That's right.
Of Talking Baseball today, if you can believe it.
Title of this episode is General Hospital.
General Hospital.
And when you've been following the Red Sox, you understand
You
why.
understand why. We were going to call it MASH Unit, but we figured General Hospital was a little more contemporary.
Hi, I'm Pete Lincoln.
I am Jason Smith, and just as a warning, you know, the sign that you're getting older in life, if you see me break out the readers during the course of the show today, yep, I need readers now, folks. So,
As usual, we're broadcasting live, but not to you.
no, it's from Passio School.
Passio Studios.
Maybe the last show in this studio, if according to our rumor. We don't know yet. We may be in a different location.
And if you
next
remember
time.
when we finished episode 2, the Red Sox are about 4 hours away from starting their season.
They were, yes.
There's a whole month underway now.
Whole month underway,
It's been a terrific
yes.
month.
It has.
And,
It has.
I've been to a ball game already.
Yes, you
It was
have.
the 75th consecutive year I've been to Fenway.
That's pretty amazing. That really
I
is
call
incredible.
it my diamond anniversary.
The diamond anniversary. Yes.
Little pun there.
Yes. Look at that.
Little baseball
in front
joke.
of all the Red Sox records right there.
And
So
we're here with our usual great crew of Dan, John, and Debbie the truck. And off we go.
Off we go for so it's the very beginning of May right now. You said we're a month into the season, and just a quick note for I'm sure you've been watching about General Hospital when there's 16 players on the IL. Well, it's sort of a MASH unit.
Well, unfortunately,
Yeah.
for the 4th consecutive show,
Yes.
we have to announce the passing of some of the Red Sox and baseball family.
Yes, we have several this month. Several.
Larry Lucchino, who's 78 years old, passed away.
There he
He had been hugely responsible for all the new stadiums in San Diego and Baltimore and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He had quite an individual transcript. He went to Princeton, and he played on the Final Four, and he has
Yes.
a Final Four watch as a Princeton basketball
That's
player.
pretty cool, isn't it? Yes.
And in addition, he has 5 World Series rings and a Washington Redskins Super Bowl
Yes,
ring.
he was part of the Redskins for all. Yes, so he has a ring in 3 different sports. How cool is that?
He's the only one that has ever done that. And he also was the head of the Special Olympics and was instrumental in getting the Woo Sox here.
Yes, he was. Yep, that was one of the last things he did was getting the Red Sox to Worcester. And like you said about the ballpark, he and Henry were absolutely instrumental in keeping Fenway where it was. If you remember, before they took over the ownership, there was a huge groundswell to move Fenway. That just take it to they were going to take it to the seaport.
Well,
that was
Buddy
the rumor.
LaRue was going to do that.
Yeah,
Buddy-
right, yeah,
he-
right,
he-
right.
He's going to reserve one wall.
Right,
The left field wall is something as a memorial.
right, and that was
And then
that
we're
was
going
it.
to move out to the ocean.
But he and Henry looked at Fenway and said, no, we can save the park. And
what they've done is make it a gem in baseball.
yeah, given the footprint they have to work with, it's been a remarkable job they've
As
done.
we talked about last week, it's a destination now.
It is. It really is.
Secondly, a brief player, but he played in our fabulous 2014. David McCarty died at just the age of 54.
Yep, David McCarty. I remember when he was coming up through the Twin system, I remember he was a big prospect with the Twins, and he never quite panned out as an everyday player, but he was a bench guy. He was a terrific bench guy, and he pitched a couple times
right.
too.
Pitched pretty well.
Yeah, he did. He took the mound a couple times in a blowout, but he was like a backup outfielder, first baseman on the 04 team. I'm sure you all remember him. Good pinch hitter, and he was he was in Nesson Studio for a couple years with TC and all the rest of the guys.
Every player who played on the 2014 is emblazoned in our hearts forever.
They never have to buy a beer in Boston again, right?
Then out of the Red Sox realm, Whitey Herzog died. And I didn't know this until I looked it up. But Whitey Herzog's real name is Doral Norman Elvert Herzog. Was 92.
Gee, I wonder why they gave him a nickname. Jeez. Darrell, no, I'm Whitey. Thank you very much.
He wasn't much of a player. He played 8 years with 5 different teams. He just hit 5 homers in his career to hit 257. But as a manager of 18 years, he's fabulous. He was with the Texas for a year, the Angels for a year, the Royals 5, and the Cardinals for 11. The Cardinals, he won 3 pennants and was the 1982 World Series champion.
And he was the manager of those really good Royals teams in the 70s that could never get by the Yankees. Remember that? I think it was 3 or 4 years in a row the Yankees took him out. And my memory of Whitey Herzog, other than a manager, is that I couldn't believe that he was in his mid-50s when he was managing the Cardinals. He's sort of like the Wilford Brimley of managers. He always looked older than he really was. You ever notice? I thought he was like in his 70s when he was managing the Cardinals, maybe because I was younger. But I couldn't believe he was in his mid-50s when he was.
He was pretty stocky.
He was, yeah.
Pretty
He was a big.
guy.
He was a big guy. He always had the crew cut, and never afraid to challenge an umpire either.
Then another old timer who I was a big fan of as a kid. Played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Carl Erskine died at 97 last week.
He was the last Brooklyn Dodger.
Yep.
He was the last Brooklyn Dodger living. Yep.
He played all 12 years with the Dodgers. The last 2 were in Los Angeles. But he also was in the 55 World Series when Brooklyn won the World Series for the one
greatest
time.
Dodgers team, yes.
He had 2 no-hitters.
He did. Yeah,
And in 2023, he was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Buck O'Neill Award.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, he was, I didn't know this till I researched it. He was instrumental in the Special Olympics and getting them, in the mainstream. He had a son with Down syndrome, so he always was a huge advocate for fundraising for Special Olympics, and he was also very involved in the retired players funds, the players who had medical issues later in life that they couldn't afford. He was a huge philanthropist.
What I always remember about him is in Brooklyn they called him Oiskin.
Oiskin, yeah. Oiskin.
Swiping and boiping on the door.
Hey, Oiskin, hey.
Them bums.
Them bums,
Oiskin.
yeah, right.
And the last one is a remarkable character, Fritz Peterson.
Good old Fritz.
Fritz
There he
Peterson was
is.
a very good pitcher for the Yankees.
Actually, I didn't know this till I looked it up. Do you know in the last 100 years he has the lowest walk rate of any pitcher? In the last 100 years, he was an unbelievable strike thrower.
Well, in 1973, he and teammate Mike Kekich did a trade that was not the usual trade.
No, it was an off-the-field trade, in fact.
If you folks don't know this story, I understand they're about to make a movie of this,
Yes,
character.
yes, they are. Yeah.
He and Fritz and
Mike Kekich,
swapped families.
Yes, they swapped wives. They each had 2 kids, so one kid switched and one stayed with the mom.
And they switched dogs.
They switched dogs, yes.
So in other words, they traded for each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
And his swap actually managed to last his lifetime.
He did.
And he had
It
4
worked out.
more children.
Yep, yeah, his worked out.
With his, Mike Kekich's did not work out.
No, it did.
But it was quite a scandal.
It was.
And the Yankees that don't allow sideburns to allow family swapping.
Yeah, well, they allow wife swapping, but they don't allow facial hair. Go figure that one out, right? But it's funny that's what he's known for, but you're right.
That's right.
Like, I couldn't believe 5 years in a row he had the lowest walk rate in the major leagues. He was, you never would know that based on what he's famous for.
When he passed away, 133 major league wins.
Yeah.
When he passed away, all they talked about was wife swapping.
Was wife swapping.
50 years
And
later.
I looked it up. I think he was another guy who was, late 60s, early 70s. They just blew his arm out. He had 5 really good years in a row, and then he just hit a wall and did nothing after that. But he made an all-star team with the Yankees. He was a pretty good pitcher in his prime. Yeah. And he was done at about age 32 because they just fried his arm.
And what happened was that also, though, he played during the bad Yankees.
Oh, they were terrible then. Yeah, right.
That section where they didn't do anything. So his name wasn't as famous as it would be otherwise.
Right. But farewell, Fritz.
So that's 5 notable
passings. Since our last show.
Hopefully, next show we'll finally be able to.
I was going to say, these
the
are
old
getting
ones.
ridiculous. We need less obituaries on this show.
Well, as you remember, 3 shows ago, we started having a truck quiz.
Oh, yes.
So here it is.
Well, hello, baseball fans. It's Debbie the Truck Lincoln back to to bring you some more baseball goodies. You know, people have been asking me what it's like to be a truck. And I guess that depends on whether you're a semi or a flatbed or a Mack. But I'm none of those. I'm an information truck. Think back to the days of Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy, and when they'd lose it, and the truck would be the ones that brought them back to earth. Or when they couldn't think of a player's name or a stat, it would be the truck that would give them the information. So I'm the Talkin' baseball truck. And I've been living with these two baseball maniacs for over 40 years. So now it's my turn to give them a little information and a little quiz. And you at home can play along with us. It's time for Truck Trivia. The boys have each selected a decade for me to give them a picture of a position player, and they have to identify the player. Pete picked the 50s, Jake picked the 80s. And this time around, the players are outfielders. So, good luck to you at home, and good luck to the boys. Here comes a stump from the truck. Have fun and keep on trucking.
All right.
Here's the quiz. Here's the people. This quiz is from an outfielder from the Red Sox from the 1950s.
Let's see. I don't know who that. I have a
Okay,
guess.
well,
I have a guess because I'm trying to guess a lefty.
We'll guess it later.
I'll guess a lefty
We'll guess it
outfielder
later.
from the 50s.
And
so.
here's the player from the
And
80s.
this is mine. Okay. I know that dude.
Okay, all right.
I definitely know that guy.
You people think about it at home,
Yeah.
and the question will be answered after the show. Is pretty well along the way.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Now, what we've been doing since the action has been fast and furious is every single night when I watch the ball games, I look for something that's unique, unusual, or talk aboutable.
Yes. Yeah.
And we call this segment tidbits.
Tidbits.
Things that have happened that are worth noting.
Yes, and I have there's a fresh one from the other night I want to add in on top
Okay.
of all these. There was a really good one the
So
other night.
in the very first day, there was a tidbit.
Yes.
The Red Sox have picked up Tyler O'Neill.
Fantastic pickup so far.
That piston. In the first game, he hit a home run. And he's the first player in Major League history to hit a first game of the season home run in 5 consecutive seasons.
5 straight opening days he homered.
5 straight opening days.
That's pretty amazing.
He hit a home run. It's never happened.
That's pretty amazing
There
when
were
you think
a
about
couple
it.
of people had 4. He's the first one to have
And he
5.
started 5 opening days. I mean, that's just that's an accomplishment right
And the
there.
second thing he's done, and this is great, he hit 9 home runs in April, tying the Red Sox record with George Scott.
Yes.
No
Yep.
other Red Sox, nobody's ever hit 10.
Yep.
Now, in the last game in April, he came up with a chance
He did.
to break the record.
He
I
did.
said, hit a home run, hit a home run. And you know what he did?
Yeah.
He hit into a triple
did
play.
Yep. It's
But
triple play.
they negated the triple play.
negated the triple
They called
play.
it a double play.
Yeah.
I said, how would that be? He's the first one to hit 9 home runs in April, and he hit into a triple play.
To end the month. And it was a triple play, and they overturned it at the last second. It was just a double play.
The announcer said the umpire was rooting for the triple play.
That's right. First one in how long for the Sox? It's been a while, right?
That was great. Second one, Jared Duran
Yeah.
stole 5 bases in his first 5 games. It's never happened for the
Never
Red Sox.
happened. There he is. And I love this guy. I think he's a real spark plug. I love it.
I love to watch him hit a triple.
Yeah.
Because you can't see his legs.
Right.
You know in the old cartoons, you
legs
see
would
him
go like
spinning and you
this.
can't see
Yeah,
him?
right.
He runs, and his legs look like they're beside his body.
Right, yeah.
They're running
it's
out
just so
here.
fluid, yeah. Yeah, it's
And
great to watch.
When he goes around second base, he just...
It's just he doesn't even slow down. Just takes the corner
I
beautifully.
keep waiting for the right. It happened the other day, but Yastrzemski missed the ball.
Yeah,
And he went. I said, "Oh my God, watch him run!"
There
Watch
he
him run.
goes.
Just keep
yeah.
the camera on him.
Yeah, and he's been one of the few guys who's been healthy all year. It's they have a great leadoff hitter. Keep him there. Keep him there.
If you could just learn to bunt.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's not the only one with that.
The third one. What we talked about in the last show was the trouble they're going to have with starting pitchers.
Right.
They had 5 starting pitchers. We went through them all and said these guys they won't be able to cut it.
Well.
In the first 5 games, now, in 28 innings, the Red Sox starting pitchers had 37 strikeouts and one
One
walk.
walk.
37 strikeouts and one walk.
And the starting pitchers had the lowest ERA since the 1920s for the Red Sox. They're still first in ERA in the majors, but they had an ERA, I think it was under 2 in April.
It was just
amazing.
out of the blocks playing in California.
Yeah, right, it's amazing.
I stayed up I said, should I stay up till 10 o'clock and watch this pitching staff?
Yes, yes, we should.
Wow,
yes,
I
we
couldn't
should.
sleep because I was so surprised. Now, the next one, you have to say his name for me. I
Oh,
can't say it.
Sedano Rafaela, yes.
Sedano Rafaela.
So who they just locked up with a long-term deal.
Yep.
Copying the Braves method of
That's pretty good for a first-year player to get an 8-year, $50 million contract.
You know what though? I can't blame him because the hitting is TBA, but his fielding is outstanding. I think that was the right move. I like that they locked him up.
And he had one particular, he hasn't been much of a hitter, great fielder.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been much of a hitter, except one day he went 4 for 4 and knocked in 7 runs.
That's right. Yes.
On April 14th, the only rookie ever to do that was Bo Jackson.
Bono was hitting. Yes.
Jackson.
Remember Bo?
Well, talking running, I'll never forget Bo Jackson once caught a fly in the outfield and ran up along the
Yes, he
wall
did.
about 6 steps and then came back down to the ground. I said, how did you see? He's like Batman.
Yeah.
The fly.
And made one of the best throws I've ever seen to home plate. We miss Bo. Bo was great.
Oh, boy.
miss Bo.
So if Rafaela can play as well as even 10% of that.
Yeah.
Next thing, Tanner Houck. He did something that hasn't been done in a long
Oh,
time.
there he is.
Tanner Houck threw a 2-0 shutout in 1 hour and 49 minutes.
A Greg Maddux, as they call it.
First
Yes.
time, it's the shortest game the Red Sox have had in 14 years.
Yes. They call it a Greg Maddux when you're done in under 2 hours.
149. Unbelievable. And it was a complete game.
It was.
Shutout.
I remember. Yep. We went to a show that night, and I said, "Oh, good, I can catch most of the game on the way home." And I turned it on, and it was the top of the 6th inning already. So, what did I miss the game? What's going on?
He's been terrific.
He's been fantastic.
But this Red Sox is so famous for playing games that take forever.
Not that one.
He just and their pitches,
Yeah. Well, the new pitch clock stuff. That's what's going to happen.
But still, you have to pitch well.
I mean, an hour 49.
an hour
is
and
pretty
49.
amazing.
And the announcers say, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, we'll kick it back to TC and Jim Rice, and they still have their feet up. Go, oh, it's only 8:30.
It's way too early to
Way
drink.
too early.
This is just a side note that cracked me up. The Red Sox played the Pirates. And the Pirates have a fellow named O'Neill Cruz,
Oh yeah.
who's a shortstop, who is 6'7".
Yes.
He's the tallest
enormous.
shortstop in Major League history.
He's enormous.
6'7".
There he is.
So they're not going to call him a shortstop anymore. He's going to be a tall stalk.
Right.
A 6'7". How does he bend
He's
down?
enormous. He's enormous.
Look like a big crane out there.
Wasn't Ripken the biggest for a while?
Yeah,
I think
6'5".
6, yeah,
But
but 6'7".
6'7". That's nuts.
That is.
And the other thing that happened is Kenley Jansen
Yes.
has moved up to 5th place
Yes.
in the all-time
Yes,
relievers.
he is tied. He went past Billy Wagner. Yes.
He went
Yep.
past
There he
Wagner.
is.
He's up to number 5.
Yep.
And what's interesting about that is he's just ahead of Craig Kimbrell.
Yep.
And Craig Kimbrell has 7 saves this year. He has 5. Kimbrell's 1 behind him.
Yes, I know. And actually, did you see what the news about Kimbrell actually? He blew a save against Oakland. They took him out, and he has a back issue. He may go on the IL.
Whoa.
Because he was rolling right along, and then he had a terrible game against Oakland. They had to take him out. So who knows?
Thought it might be kind of fun to run down the list of all-time top 12 relievers.
Yeah. See how many of these guys you remember?
Mariano Rivera with
Yes.
652 is sewed it up forever.
Of course.
And second, Trevor Hoffman with 601.
Yeah.
The only people over 400s.
Over 5, yeah. The only ones over 5. They have 600. Nobody else
There are
over
no
5.
500s.
Right.
Number 3 is Lee Smith.
Lee Smith, yes, former Red Sox.
476.
Yes. Yep.
Frankie Rodriguez, F-Rod with
Efrod,
437.
yep, yep.
Now Kenley is with 425. John Franco have 424. Kimbrell now has 424. Billy
Wagner. Yes.
Billy Wagner has 422. Dennis Eckersley 390. Joe Nathan has
Joe
377.
Nathan had that many? My
Jonathan
Lord.
Papelbon
Yes.
had 368. And Jeff Reardon had 367.
A lot of ex-Red Sox on there.
How many are there? There's 6.
6 ex-Red
half,
Sox. Yep.
half of the top 12
Yep.
relievers were Red Sox at one
And
point.
what's amazing is that Papelbon actually has the most saves for 2 teams, Red Sox and Phillies.
Yep.
He leads 2 different teams. But I thought I had one more tidbit that just happened the other night, and we don't have footage of it yet, obviously. But if you were watching the Dodgers-Diamondbacks game, they had an hour delay because of a bee's nest.
Oh, I heard about
The
that.
bees, a swarm of bees had made a nest on the backstop, and they didn't know what to do. And there happened to be a beekeeper in the crowd, and they had the beekeeper go and get the queen bee, and he safely took the nest away. And they just announced today Topps is going to have a card of him in the upcoming set, an autographed bee. I forget his name, but he's going to have an autographed beekeeper card in the next Topps set. So.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't kill him because all the insect lovers would be.
But I remember it just said bee delay at the bottom of the screen. I said, what the heck? And I turned the game on, and there's a swarm of bees on the back.
How good's your memory?
Yeah.
You remember the World Series game the Yankees had where they were attacked by mice?
Oh, I sure do. Jova Chamberlain was the guy. I totally
He
remember
couldn't
that.
pitch because he was
The midges were coming in his head. He gave up like 4 runs right away because the bugs
and
were
they kept
swarming
showing him. The other team's pitcher didn't bother him.
No, but Chamberlain's going like this
whacking
the
me.
entire time.
The bugs on the field.
Yeah, so that was another tidbit, fresh one.
So because this is a show that has great continuity, it's time for Stump Jason.
Okay, here we go.
Stump Jason, this question ties right into it.
Okay.
The leading Red Sox all time, so I find the question. Yeah, leading Red Sox reliever all time is Jonathan Papelbon. He had 219 saves. Only 3 other Red Sox relievers ever had as many as 100. Name 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Now or
no.
Okay.
That's
right.
the stump case. That's the stump case.
Okay.
I'll say it again to people. Papelbon had 219. They had 3 other pitchers who had over 100 saves for the Red Sox.
Okay.
Name 2 out of the 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
That's your quiz.
All right. All right. So moving on to the next.
Okay. One of the problems I think we mentioned so far is that there's been tremendous number of injuries with the Red Sox.
16 guys on the
Scary.
IL so far.
And at one point, the number 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters were all out
Out
with
of the
injuries.
lineup.
All out with injuries. So we thought we might take a little moment to see how the fans, how the team is treating those injured players. So we take you now to General Hospital. Hi, we're here at General Hospital.
I'm Dr. Seuss.
And I'm Dr. Doolittle. We're not really doctors. We're just bad actors.
Right. Should we do the T-Mobile commercial? Should we sing?
No.
No. All right. No. We're not going to do the T-Mobile commercial. No, we're not the Scrubs guys. No, we're not going to do that. So.
Well, the Red Sox thought they were sending all their injured players to Mass General.
No.
But they sent it to General Hospital.
Right. Yeah. So
And we
here
are not doctors, we're just bad actors.
We're just bad actors.
We are tasked with helping these guys.
Right.
But
So
we don't know anything about
we don't know anything about these.
So we're just going to try to wing it.
Yeah.
What we tell them.
All right.
Like, for instance, this is a list of the amazing number of
16, I think,
16,
is the
I think.
final count.
We
that
will
have
only
here.
do the best ones.
Yes.
Brian Bayo has a bad back.
Well, his front's fine, right?
Okay, well, that's good. We'll tell him that.
We'll tell him,
All right. Tristan Cassis broke his rib swinging a bat.
I guess don't swing.
Well,
I guess
Swing slower.
swing slower.
Swing
yeah.
slower.
Don't swing so hard.
That's
yeah,
right.
I think
He
that's
swung
the
way too hard.
advice we have for
if
that.
your body breaks when you swing the bat, that's bad.
Well, if you're a baseball player,
good.
that's not
Excuse me,
not good.
Should I wear this on the other ear? You think it'll look better?
I don't know. I think it's good where it is.
All right,
yeah.
I think I'll leave. In fact, I probably won't wear it at all.
Okay. All right.
Then Garrett Whitlock has an oblique. Now, I looked up in the dictionary, oblique means vague.
Do we have an oblique? I
think
don't even know if I have
How
one.
do you get a vague?
I don't even know what an oblique is.
I don't know either, so he should be okay.
I'm not any body part that has a Q. I'm
As
not
soon as he
sure.
gets more specific, he'll be able to pitch.
I guess. Yeah.
that's
I think
probably what it is.
Right.
Nick Pavetta has an elbow, but I do too.
Yeah. Stop doing this, I guess. I don't
guess.
know.
I don't know what the problem is there.
I don't know.
And poor Trevor Story broke his shoulder by falling on the ground.
Don't fall down, I guess is the best.
Why would you fall on the ground and break the shoulder? Don't fall down.
Don't fall down.
Stand up and play.
Learn to fall. Learn to fall properly, I guess.
Then Rafael Devers has a knee.
So do I. I have two. I don't know what to tell you.
They don't say exactly what's wrong with the knee.
They just say it's a knee.
He's got a knee.
All right, so
that's probably a good thing.
I have two. I'm very happy with mine.
Then Yoshika has a bad hand. Now, probably he only drew 2 pair. He should have had a full house.
Oh yes, yeah. He didn't know when to hold them and when to fold them. Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, we can't forget Vaughn Grissom, who is returning today, had a hamstring issue. Hamstring. I
don't know what that is. Does it go good with cheese?
They do have string cheese. Do they have string ham too?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we can find out about that. I don't even know what a hamstring is.
I hope these people are listening to this advice.
Yeah, I know, because this is valuable stuff.
We need to get them back in the lineup.
Well, we need these 16 guys to get healthy. Absolutely.
And then we had Tyler O'Neill, who ran into the back of Rafael Devers' head with dark glasses on and ripped his forehead open.
Don't wear dark glasses, I guess is the moral there, yeah.
I mean, you wear it to look up in the sky, but not running into people.
Right, yeah.
If you're going to run into people, take them off.
Take them off, yeah. That's very simple. Very simple.
Great idea.
Yeah.
And Cooper has came up, his first game, his third at bat. He got hit by a pitch.
Don't get hit.
Get out of the way. He obviously is not quick enough to be a Red Sox.
Right, so get out of the way. Get out of the way, I guess. Of course, we have, and our final one is Lucas Giolito. What about Giolito?
Giolito. You're not going to see him around here no more. Leave the gun.
Take the cannoli.
Yeah. Movie reference.
Yeah. And we're back.
We're back.
I know. I hope they take that advice from us. We are not.
We were kidding, but it's hard to understand how so many people get hurt. With strangest injuries.
It's really unbelievable. Yeah, you're right. So they had the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters all missing, and their top 3 starters all out. It was unbelievable how many, and they're trucking right along despite the injuries.
And the strangest, all of a sudden, injuries would happen. I feel really bad, though, for Story.
I know.
He missed all last season. He comes back. He was playing very well. He's hitting well, fielding well.
Injury,
and he decides to make an extra effort to try to knock the ball down, and he's out for the year.
Falls on his shoulder. And the funny thing is the Red Sox have it pretty bad, but across baseball, the injuries have been unbelievable. Think of all this. They just said Trout might be out for the rest of the year now again, and then Garrett Cole is out for the rest of the year, and Strider is out for the rest of the year. It's unbelievable the injuries that have happened in baseball this season.
I heard it. The part of the reason they're blaming it is because too many guys are throwing too hard.
Yes. Yep.
And the batters are seeing pitches that are throwing hard so often that they feel more. Usually in the old days, third or fourth time you saw a pitcher, he wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour.
No, of course he wasn't. No.
So you weren't cranked up to break ribs.
Right. Right.
And another thing is the pitchers aren't being stretched out to pitch 9 innings anymore.
Of course not. No, they want to go 5 innings and that's it.
And all the relievers are expected to throw 100.
Right.
Instead of junk.
Right.
Come in and throw Bill Lee stuff.
There aren't any junk ballers anymore. No. Everybody throws 95 plus. Everybody. And some of the pitchers have actually said that the pitch clock, they overcorrected. They were fine with the pitch clock as it was last year, but now they think it's too short because they added that 3 seconds. You have to throw in 15 now. And they think, and their argument is if you want us to throw with maximum effort, the body needs to decompress in between each pitch. You can't just get the ball and throw 100 right over again.
I mean, look at what hockey does. They take 3 minutes and then they take a rest.
And they take a break, right.
How'd you like to play 60 minutes of hockey? You couldn't do it. That's what they're asking pitchers to do.
Right. Yeah. And you're right. Yeah, everybody throws 100. It's just, the days of the oil can Boyd and the Mark Burley junk baller, there aren't any. Nobody throws soft anymore. Everybody's 95 plus.
Bless his soul. If Tim Wakefield could come back,
he would so mess with hitters right now. Oh my God.
It'd be so great.
Imagine putting him in, and then you have a guy that throws 100 out of the bullpen right after him. Oh my God!
Some guy for the Giants threw 103 the other night.
Yeah, their closer, 103.
103.
How do you hit that? I mean, even if you know it's coming, how do you hit that?
It's illegal to drive anywhere near that.
Well, how do you react? Say it's coming right at you. How do you react to a 103-mile-an-hour pitch? Just hope it doesn't break your
It's like
wrist or
teeing up a
something.
golf ball and hitting it at a guy.
Right. So yeah, and the thing is, I don't think it's good for baseball when stars are injured like
Absolutely
that.
not.
It's not good for baseball that Trout's out and Cole's out
it's
and
not at all.
Strider's out and Giolito's out. That's not good for the sport.
I turned on the Brewers game the other day. I didn't know a single player.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody.
Right.
And they're doing well.
Yeah. Right. I know.
But they're all people that aren't like us.
Yeah.
They're casual fans want to see stars.
Of course they do.
That's why we have an all-star game.
Of course. Of course.
But they don't want to see all no-name players, even if they're terrific.
Right, yeah. I mean, nothing against Josh Winkowski, but a average Sox fan isn't going to turn on to see Winkowski start. They want to see the superstars.
10 years maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But not now.
Right, not now.
So if all the superstars are down,
Right.
a lot of people go. I used to go just to see Pedro pitch.
Of course.
When's
absolutely.
Pedro pitching?
Yeah.
That's the game I'm
That's
going
the game
to.
I want to go to, 100%. Yeah. Is Poppy up this inning? Okay, I won't go get a snack this inning because Poppy's coming up.
right.
So it's unfortunate, and I don't know how they're going to combat that. I don't know if
And they're going to have to.
Yeah, they
Because
are. Yeah.
the injuries this year are extraordinary.
No, they really are. And like you said, they're not bums that are getting hurt. These are superstars that are missing time. And it's not good. Not good.
Well, a couple of items came up I've been thinking about while we were at the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I always hated the music at Fenway for the last 20 years. Blasting pop music, loud as they could all the time. So we walked into the first game, and I hear an organ playing Mr. Sandman.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Quiet
All right.
organ music
Yes.
playing pop tunes.
Yes.
They still have the seventh inning people going nuts to the camera to dance.
Of course,
to.
yeah, of course, yeah,
But
of
it's
course.
so much calmer.
I agree, and I'm not one of these people. One of these, all pop music today sucks. I'm not one of those people. But it was just so loud. You couldn't have a conversation. It wasn't so much the music; it was just the volume. And if you were under a speaker, like in the blue seats, it would hurt your ears. It was so loud. You couldn't even have a conversation between innings. It was just so
And
blasting.
it was every single time out.
It was.
A mound visit.
Right.
Boom.
Or even before the game. Before the game, it would just be blasting right at you. And so that 100%
I
agree
get a
with
feeling
that.
that maybe he had enough complaints.
I think so.
And the
I think
audience
so.
was getting older.
Yeah, well, yeah. Right.
But it was such a relief. John Kiley.
Remember
John
Kiley, yes.
John
There he
Kiley.
is. There's John Kiley.
He
yes.
was great. I got to read you his resume. He played at Braves Field, the Oregon, from 48 to 53 when they moved. He played at Fenway Park from 53 to 89 for 46 years.
amazing.
And at the Boston Garden from 41 to 84, 43 years.
Amazing.
And he always used to end a victory with stout-hearted
Yes,
men.
it's always.
Give me a
Everyone
man
was
who's
started.
stout-hearted man. We're all brought out to that. And he's also a riddle that, I guess a question that was asked as a trivia question for years.
Yeah.
Who's the only person who ever played for the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics?
And it was John Kiley
John
because
Kiley
he played
was the
for
answer,
all
'cause he played for all three of them.
Oh, yeah. That was.
I so miss him.
That was just part of Fenway. Would you go and you'd have and it was corny, but it was fun. It added to the atmosphere.
Sure it did.
and,
That's right.
And they did weave in some actually kind of current stuff. It was
Oh,
just
yeah.
on an organ. That's
On
all.
an
It
organ,
wasn't. It
right.
wasn't blasting in your face. It was an organ. That's all. So all for that.
This is something that I read in Baseball Digest that killed me. You and I both love to read about old-time baseball.
Absolutely.
And some of the legendary things that occurred. Maybe when I was 9 years old, I read about the year that Ted Williams hit 400. And he went into the last doubleheader of the season hitting 399.
Yes.
399.5.
Yep.
And they gave him the option not to play so it could round off. He'd be the first 400 hitter since 1930. But he decided to go and play anyway.
Yep, he
He
did.
went 6 for 8, ended up 406.
Yeah.
Big hero.
And the last one before Cabrera that did it. Yeah. Yep.
Now, someone did some research and came up with the fact that the sacrifice fly didn't exist until 1954. So a sacrifice fly counted as an at-bat.
Yeah.
You got an RBI,
Yeah.
but it counted as an at-bat. They went back and checked through all the box scores of 1941, and Ted Williams hit 14 sacrifice
So he
flies.
had 14 points on his average.
14.
Yeah,
He would have been hitting 412
Yeah.
going in and coming out 419.
Which is almost, because didn't Cobb have the record with 420? He would have just missed the record for
But
modern baseball.
He came in with 412. He probably wouldn't have bothered
Probably
to play.
wouldn't have bothered, right?
It was interesting. They had the sacrifice fly count as a not an at bat from 26 to 30. And in 1930, the league average was enormous.
Oh, that was the offense. That was the offense era, right?
So they decided to count it as a time at bat to try to knock the offense down.
Right.
Just
yeah.
like 86. No, what was the year? The 64 was it?
Oh, 60 when they lowered the mound.
Lower the mound.
Yeah,
Have
right.
to give 64.
Right.
Lower the mound. So from 30 until what I say
54. Yeah.
A sacrifice fly counted as an at bat.
Yeah.
And so Williams would have.
He would have cleared it by a lot.
But I remember thinking, what a great story that was.
That is cool.
I was so wished I was alive then when it happened. I could listen to it on the radio and root for him, playing the old athletics.
Well, actually, as an aside, do you know what Sox player did that with a 300 average and made an out in his last at bat?
I should.
Bill Buckner.
In
In 85, he was hitting 300 going into the last game, and he played the game, or McNamara probably made him play knowing McNamara, and he ended up at 299 for the year.
Speaking of Bill Buckner, does anyone in the audience see the Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh,
episode
yes.
when Bill Buckner is made a hero by catching a baby?
It's hysterical. What a great legacy for him to leave with that show. It's great. It's great.
Just by chance, I was with my roommate in New York, and we went into a drugstore, and the guy that wrote that episode said, "You're from Boston? Oh, you're going to love the next Curb Your Enthusiasm." And so we watched it. Buckner turns out to be a hero.
Yeah, it was so great.
That's just a sidebar.
Yeah, just a sidebar, because we do pop culture stuff here too.
So it's time for our Fenway memories.
Yes.
I'm going to tell a kind of sad story.
All right. Okay.
This is from way back. Early 1950s, when I was playing Little League in my hometown of Ware, Mass., there was no official Little League. It hadn't started in that town yet. And so Saturdays, we all went down to Memorial Field and split up into 3 groups. The sub-juniors, that was like Little League. No, it was like T-ball. Then the juniors, which are like Little League, and there were the senior league, which is like Babe Ruth. And the guys split us all up into teams, and we played all day Saturday. Well, every year, they would take as many kids as wanted to go to Fenway Park in 2 buses.
Yeah.
Bus loads of kids go to Fenway.
Oh, God.
And we go sit in the bleachers, way up in the bleachers, and watch a game. Now, in those days, it cost $1.
Oh,
to sit in
yeah.
the bleachers. Kids got in for 50 cents.
Right.
So I went when I think I was 9 for the first trip. And I had been to Fenway once with my dad, but it was the only time I'd ever been. And Ware was a tough town. There were tough kids, a lot of Polish, French kids that, they were tough kids, boy. And so I was sort of hanging around with them, trying to use them for protection. And my dad gave me $1, so it got me into the game, 50 cents. And I spent 25 cents on food, stuff around there.
Ballpark food.
It was really funny because in a later year, one of the first games ever televised, we were at the game too, and one of these friends of mine said, "Hey, Lincoln, stand in front of me so my mother won't see me smoking on TV." Like they had 2 cameras back then that were fuzzy.
like you could see them.
Kid's 9. he's
Yeah,
smoking.
smoking in the bleachers.
So anyway, the game was over and headed out to the buses. We went out through the bleacher exit toward the area where the buses were, and I saw a concession stand with a pennant on it, 1950 Red Sox pennant from the year before. I said, "Geez, I got a quarter left. I'm going to buy the pennant." So I got in line, but it was quite a line, unfortunately. It took a while. I finally got the pennant, and I turned around. My whole group was gone. All had left. And I said, Oh my God. I was terrified. I didn't know where I was going. So I ran over to an usher. I said, "Where are the buses? Where are the buses, sir? Where are the buses?" And he pointed down to this lot. Yeah. So I ran down to the lot as fast as I could go, and there were 70 buses there.
Oh,
70
Good luck.
buses.
Good
So
luck.
I was running up and down through the buses. Finally, I came across W.E. Blue Company, which is my bus. So thank God. Well, everybody else was on the bus. Hey,
Waiting for you.
stinking Lincoln, what happened to you? You get lost? Hey, stinking Lincoln, stupid, you get lost? And so I got fucking, and I felt so relieved to get on the bus. And I walked to the back, and I put my face down so they couldn't see the tears falling. I was so terrified I was going to be left in Boston at the age of 9. And I kept that banner my whole life.
Yes. Oh, yes.
still
Yep. Still
have
have
that
it.
banner.
Yep. Still have it. Yeah.
So it was my Fenway memory
Oh
that
God.
was enveloped in my middle of my head forever. Stinking Lincoln.
Stinking Lincoln, you get lost. Well, my memory is actually very recent, and it ties into a hopefully future one. In a few weeks, you and I are taking my son to a game at Fenway. It's not his first game. He did get to go to one last year with his Boy Scouts and had a fantastic time. Almost made it the whole game. He made it 8 innings in a 90-degree day and then got hot, and we watched the 9th inning from down under the stands. So he almost made it. He did a great job, and he got to hang out with his friends and everything. But coming up, this will be the first 3-generation game that we have coming up.
That's great.
So, and he's looking forward to it. He's already psyched about it. He's already picking out his clothes and everything that he's gonna. They're playing the Tigers, so he's already going Boo Tigers. But last year was his first Fenway game. We had taken him to Woo Sox and the Spinners and the Fisher Cats, but he never been to a major league game before. So we're hoping that that it'll be as fun as it was as the first time, because they had a nice blowout win. They had 5 homers. Frenchie Cordero, he got to see a Frenchie Cordero homer. Go figure that one out. So just X-Man, your memories from a year ago, but hopefully there'll be a memory in a few weeks when we do the first 3-generation tier to Fenway Park. It'll be fun.
I can't tell you how that makes me feel, because my grandfather took my father to a game who took me.
Right.
So for me, it's 5 generations.
That's so cool. That's so awesome.
5
that
generations
is so awesome.
at Fenway Park.
Yeah,
it's
that's so
part
awesome.
of our family.
It is. It
fabric.
really is.
It's
It
the
really
fabric of
is.
us.
And especially, he's 11, so he's always angling for later bedtime. So, can I just watch one more inning? Just one more inning? Which, you never heard that when I was that age, did you? No. Can I watch one more inning?
He may not like this, but I got to tell a story about Jason.
Okay.
We took Jason, Greg DeBono and
I know what you're going to talk about.
took Jason to a ball game, and he loved it. And we sat in the bleachers, and he said, "Dad, I got to go to the bathroom." So I said, "Greg, take him down to the bathroom." So Jason went into the bathroom, dropped his pants right down to his shoes, and went to the bathroom. Jake says, "Shy kid, huh?"
Well, these are the days of the trough urinal. Remember the trough urinals? And it wasn't just everybody threw trash and cigarettes and everything. I wasn't a shy kid, so nothing has changed, because my son does the same thing now. So it's not a day in the Smith house when he doesn't show his butt to the family, so I'll embarrass him too. So those are Fenway memories for...
There's no end to these memories.
No,
folks.
they keep going.
We're going to make another one next week.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. So.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the truck quiz. See how we can do with it.
All right, let's see. So yours is
Now,
first,
I
correct?
was told this was a outfielder. I believe that's Gary Geiger.
Hey,
Gary Geiger
good job. Yes.
was a
yes.
pretty good center fielder, skinny.
Yeah.
A skinny rail. That's how I recognize him. He wasn't a heavy guy, but Gary Geiger.
Yes. Gary Guy, good job. Nice. So and here's
his
mine.
one
And
from
I
the
know
80s.
this one. This is the famous, as we would say in the bleachers, Todd Benzinger. Hey, they used to yell at him from the bleachers. Hey, Benzinger, hey! And he was sort of He was part of that in '87 and '88, if you remember. There was that wave of kids coming through the team, and he was one of them. And interestingly, he went to the Reds, and he won a World Series with the Reds.
Right.
The year in '90 when they swept the A's, he was on that team. And he actually had a pretty good career in Cincinnati after he left Boston. He was kind of a fourth outfielder, kind of substitute guy, but he hung around. He had a
Did he
good
play third, too?
Yeah, he played third too.
Third,
Yeah. He had a good decade as like a utility guy.
This is just coming out of my head. He had a grand slam at one point.
Yes, he
Some
did.
big game.
Yes, he did.
I couldn't.
And I remember there was another game where he hit a game-winning homer, and they show it on Nesson every once in a while when they show those flashback games. I think it was the first year Jerry Remy announced he had a game-winning homer down the right field line. And Todd Benzinger. Yeah, I remember that guy. Yes. Well, thank you, Truck, for some good pictures.
Right, the
this
good
time.
pictures.
This is great.
Hope you guys and folks at home were able to pick up on those.
Yes.
Gary Geiger. Well, we got to talk about the continuing story of Bobby Dahlbeck.
Oh, well, first, before Bobby Dahlbeck, we do have an interview with our buddy Sully.
Oh,
yes, So Sully has some things to say on this broadcast. We're going to kick it to Sully before the Bobby Dahlbeck saga.
We got quite a compact working disc to work from here.
Yeah.
And, that's what the truck's for.
That's what the truck's for, is
the
to
truck's
keep us
for.
on track.
Okay.
So, all right, so we'll take it away. Take it away, Sully.
Hi, fans. We're back with our old friend Sully from Revere.
How's it going?
He's been able to drop by because he stayed out of criminal problems.
Yeah, I had to get a lift here,
he
but
stop in and talk about his point of view about the Red Sox.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about the team.
He's the #1 Revere Red Sox fan.
I am.
Number
They
one.
request me on WEEI to call in once in a while.
Now, last month when we talked to you, you're getting the job working for the Dunks.
Yeah, I'm still at Dunks.
Okay.
Yeah, still rolling in the dough.
I got a question. What's the biggest seller at Dunks?
The biggest seller
What goes over best?
is the Boston cream donuts. Boston cream donuts are the best seller. Otherwise, the hot coffee sells pretty well too, but you don't have to get it right. You just kind of throw it all in the cup and you pass it on.
And when you're working there, do you get any freebies?
I will neither confirm nor deny. I make $150 a day and drink $158 in coffee, but they don't know that. So I make money.
How do you ever sleep?
I don't. Sully doesn't sleep, He's up all night watching old movies and stuff like that, So, yeah, never sleep.
Okay, now some questions I want to ask you about. You go to a lot of ball games.
I do.
A lot of ball games. The behavior of the fans at some things has always kind of puzzled me. Mm-hmm. Why do you think it is that when the pitcher for the other team throws over to first base to hold a runner on, all the fans boo?
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. The pitcher's just doing his job, holding the guy on.
They boo.
I don't know why they boo. I don't know. They don't know anything about the game. I don't know. It's the people that sing Sweet Caroline, too. They know nothing about the game.
I was just going to ask you about that next. Sweet Caroline, song written by a guy from New York.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to see him do like some AC/DC or something like that, for the 8th inning. A little Thunderstruck. That's a little better than Sweet Caroline. But hey, if fans want to behave badly, if they want to boo, they want to throw stuff, whatever. Guess what? You get kicked out, I'm taking your seat. All right? So you didn't do all the bad behavior you want. Sully's getting your seat at the end of the day.
How about the wave? You into the wave?
No. The only thing I do, if I get a beer, I just kind of sit and hold up like this because, you never know when the camera's on you. If the camera's on you, I got to give a wave. Hey, Stacy, I'm still single. If you see me when the wave's going, I got to acknowledge you. But other than that, no, I'm not a big wave participant. No.
Well, I got a feeling you got a rant coming on.
Well, yeah, if you saw the show last month, you know what I did. I was talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, about Ozzy and Florida, and guess what? They both got in. So Sully is prophetic. Sully knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to music.
Man.
So let me stump for my next one here. Styx. Okay, man? Styx has got to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pieces of 8 is one of my go-to albums. Let me tell you, I got Renegade, you got Blue Collar, and Babe. Oh my God, I used to get lucky that when I put that in the 8-track back in Revere Beach back in the day, if you know what I'm saying, So Styx is my next stump for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They got to get it. Domo arigato, Mr. Abato. Come on, how do you deny that? Come on. So, and I heard on this show, you are honoring the great Fritz Peterson.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you, Fritz Peterson's a great man. Let me tell you, the whole idea of sharing broads, I'm on board with you, Fritz. You know, as long as Sully gets a turn, I'm all good with that. So, Fritz, great man. Here, I hoist a beer to you, man. That's a good idea. I like that.
Man, it's always good to talk to you.
All right, man. Yeah. Cross the fist bump, man. Yeah.
Stay out of trouble, and we'll see you next time.
All right, pieces of 8, baby. You know, it's always a joy to have Sully here, isn't it?
right,
I mean,
that's
of all the guests we could get, I think Sully'd be at the top of my list.
Well, he seems to see things in a different light.
In a Revere perspective, rather than a Lunenburg
Not
perspective.
Revere. Not revered.
So anyway, this is pretty funny because if you've caught up on social media and everything, you know about the Bobby Dahlbeck saga. And we're going to do a trivia answer after Bobby Dahlbeck, but we're going to do Dahlbeck first. So okay. Bobby Dahlbeck, well, let's just say his bat leaves something to be desired. He did have an 0 for 30 stretch from 23 into 24. And but I think he has some kind of voodoo doll in his locker because it seems like every time he is ready to be sent down and banished to AAA, somebody gets hurt and he hangs out of the roster for another week or two.
No, I can't understand. He had 25 homers a couple years ago.
He did? What happened?
And I was expecting he was going to be our. He just can't make contact.
It's unbelievable.
He had 33 for Worcester last year.
He did, yeah. So it's not like the talent.
But he comes up there and he's like, I don't have a clue. He takes stuff down the middle and then swings at stuff down here. I will say he has a good glove. I mean, so when he's in the infield, I have no issue with his glove. He can play third and first.
Yeah. But it's an automatic out at the bottom of the. I don't know what.
He at one point he was 1 for 30. He was hitting 0.33 with 17 strikeouts.
Yeah. And then in the 17-0 game, he got 2 hits.
Yes.
Way to pile it on, Bobby. But he just did get banished to AAA a couple days ago when Grissom is activated now.
By the time this airs,
he may be back. He's going to be back.
He's the ultimate baseball yo-yo.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times you can send a guy down.
He's like the penny that keeps popping up.
It's just remarkable.
It really is. It's amazing how many times he's avoided being banished. But he's so we'll see what happens with Bobby.
Okay, now the truck has kept us online once again. Yeah. So it's time now for the answer to the Stump Jason trivia question, which was, and it'll come up on your screen, I'm sure. Jonathan Papelbon leads the all-time Red Sox relief pitchers with 219 saves. Mm-hmm. They've had only 3 other pitchers in their history with 100 or more saves. Can you name 2 of them?
Okay, one for sure is Kimbrel.
Right?
Kimbrel, I think Kimbrel is about 120, something like that. And I know another one is Bob Stanley. Right. Because he had the record for a long, from the old school relievers. He had over 100. The third guy I have to think about.
Stanley is second with 132. Kimbrel had 108.
Yeah. And so who would be the other one? Who's the third one?
I'll give you his nickname.
Yeah.
The Monster.
Oh, Raditz. Dick Raditz. He had over 100, did he? All right.
104.
Did he really?
I didn't know that
I wasn't sure if he was over 100.
An interesting thing about him is that his saves weren't one inning.
Oh, they were 3 or 4 innings.
He had one save that I think he got the win, but he had a relief outing that went 8 2/3 innings against the Yankees.
Yeah.
They pitched a complete game
just let him go.
in relief.
Yep. Well, Stanley did that too, though. If you look, Stanley qualified for the ERA title one year out of the bullpen. I mean, they would bring Stanley in with 2, 3, 4 innings and just let him go the whole rest of the game too. And it's too bad because Stanley was really good until 85. He had a decade where he was one of the best relievers in baseball. And I think they just blew him out because he pitched an absurd amount of innings. And 86, he was okay. And then 87, 88, he was kind of booed out. They'd boo every time they brought him in. But if you look at his stats from about 77 to 85, he was a remarkable relief pitcher. The steamer, they used to call him.
The steamer, which leads me to a personal story.
Okay.
At Yee's Village in West Townsend, the guy that ran that used to run a Chinese restaurant on Route 1 near Boston. And apparently Bob Stanley came there to celebrate his birthday with some of his friends. And he, as he said, steamer, drink 14 Mai Tai. 14 Mai
14
Tai.
Mai Tai.
But he had food.
14
And
Mai
he
Tai.
told me that story
Oh, my
every
God.
time I went into the restaurant that the steamer had 14 Mai Tai. So apparently,
Oh my God.
apparently
Steamer could drink. Steamer could drink.
And I'm sure anybody that's watching this show who's ever been up to Yee's Village has heard that tale.
We know exactly what we're talking about. Well, so we're up against the clock a little bit here. We have about a minute left, I guess.
well-
so anything we want to touch on before we sign
Well-
off for another month?
Just a few weird changes of players. All of a sudden, they got a lot of new people.
They do.
Reyes is gone.
Reyes is-
just
yeah.
like that after he pitched an inning.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe they'll bring him back as a relief
And
pitcher.
they
Who
got
knows?
Grissom, and they got
Cooper, and they
Cooper.
got Dominic Smith.
Dominic Smith.
Yes, right.
In fact, in tonight's game against the Twins, which will be old news by the time it comes on, they have 3 consecutive players in the lineup
Yeah.
that weren't there 2 days
And
ago.
Zach Short is the other guy they just picked. Well, I'd never heard of, but maybe he's not a tall stop. He's a second baseman. So, but but I kind of like that. It kind of goes to show that rather than just slogging some quadruple A guy, there kind of shows they believe in the team.
That's right.
That they're trying to fill
Picking
in
up guys.
fill in at least semi-competent
It's just
players
that
with
when
these.
the White Sox, who've only won 2 games, release somebody.
I know, right? You pick him up. Ooh, you couldn't make it with the White Sox. Who knows?
We'll never know.
But you
Who
never
knows?
know. We'll see. We'll see if they hang in there.
So far,
next
this
month.
team has been a total surprise. to me.
Then it's been fun to watch.
The hitting has been less than I thought. The pitching has been much better.
Yeah, they've been fun
And
to
the
watch
fielding
so far.
is definitely tighter.
Yes, we had a couple rough weeks at the beginning, but it's a lot better now.
So anyway, once again, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
to our
Thanks
crew,
to the truck and
to
everyone.
the truck and to Dan and to John, providing our laugh track and keeping us on track.
Yes.
Which is not hard.
No, it's not easy,
not
to,
easy
do,
to do.
to keep us on track.
But
so.
we'll be back in a month, and till then, keep watching baseball.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, and we'll see you all anon.
See you later.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's hear it. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3, take around and be all holding. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's hear it. Root for the whole team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3, take around and be all